Good morning and welcome to Trading with Larry, the no inflation market back. So all is good. I knew this number would be weak. It's just part of the rig. Markets, it's funny, markets before the number were up huge, and then the number came out better, and they're still up huge. So it's what it is, and you got to adjust to the new normal. I guess, you've been bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish a bunch of times. I haven't seen this move at all. I still don't. And I think, what has happened here is like Oracle had earnings last night, right? Their earnings were weak. Stock traded down, but then when they get on the call, they say they have a backlog of AI orders or whatever. But my belief is, and you saw this with Zuckerberg in the White House, was that he just made up a number. They caught him on a hot mic. He's like, is that good enough? Did I say a big enough number? I didn't know what I was supposed to say. So I think
Oh
what's
my God.
happening here is these companies are saying they have all these orders, which they really may have, but they're preliminary orders depending on how these businesses do. So you may have an order out a year, but if they're not doing well, they may not move forward with the order. So that's what I see.
It's a pro forma.
It,
The market rallied on a pro forma number that is, look, I've
right.
been involved in a lot of startups. I know how these pro formas are built and the conversations people have around the table. It's so easy to just make shit up. And
Listen, listen. The thing is, these companies know what to say and what to do to jimmy the investor to think everything is amazing. And legitimately, OpenAI is a $10 billion customer of Broadcom. It's a $20 billion customer of Oracle. It's a $50 billion customer of Nvidia. How they don't do it? They don't have anything. So all they're doing is front loading these orders, okay, to get it to where it is. But I mean, obviously, the market was up a lot pre the number. The number, as when it came out, really, really showing a lot of inflation, was strong. the markets were strong into a bad number. Now today, they're thinking this is such a great number. Bonds are up, but minimally. Not anything big. So they're not up a figure. I think you got to look at this, that the Fed, with the market reaction doing what it's doing, can't cut rates. How are they going to cut rates? They're going to cut rates into this insanity market that goes up, you know,
So, so you're talking about September, or you're talking about the meeting after
no, I'm talking about later on. September is a quarter no matter what. So, that's a given. They're giving
that? So
that to Trump. They gave
everyone
that
thinks they're
to him.
definitely going to do it. Can you imagine if they don't do it?
Dude, they're doing it. They're doing it. But I mean, listen, it's funny. The S&P is ripping, 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 and the bonds are up on the long end 4 ticks, and on the short end they're up like 3 ticks. Like I don't know. It's only good for the stocks. That's it. It's not good for anything else. Just good for stocks. That's it. Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking across the board here at the tape. Everything is green. Everything is green. And last night, the rally in the U.S. carried forward into Asia, and looks like into Europe as well. So everyone's happy today. Everyone's chirping,
What kind of
getting
rally?
a lot of
Time out. What kind of
getting a lot of
rally? What kind of rally?
getting a lot of
What kind of rally? The DAX is up 8 points, dude. $8. Okay, there's no rally in Europe. DAX is up $8. The CAC is up 30, and the FTSE's up like 15. That's a huge rally. Okay.
Asia. You know what's interesting about Asia?
Rally
They,
of last night. Stop. Stop. There's no massive rally anywhere. Tell me where,
it was a mass rally.
other than us. We are in a massive
It
rally.
was a continuation of the vibes, the positive vibes,
I would
the
think if
organic
I'm looking
vibe.
at it as a trader, okay, I don't see the positive vibe. I actually think these markets, I keep saying it, the DAX is still only up 19%. In 3 more days, we're going to be up 19%. So we were down 20, they were up 20, we rallied 40, and they went down. Okay, so I don't know. I have no idea, dude. Listen, I'll leave that to you. You're saying massive positive vibes with Europe up
Oh,
less
they
than
have,
10 basis
yeah.
points.
The market is rolling on.
What? Well, I think Eric froze, so I'm on my own. I don't know what happened to him, but S&P ripping, Nasdaq ripping, everything is good. Just buy all the stocks that you were selling on last Monday and on this Monday and last Tuesday, and listen, I would have thought you'd see a more positive reaction out of the bond market. You haven't seen that. We're actually long bonds. We're going to look to sell them out because they don't act correctly. S&P, we're sort of staying away still for our subscribers, waiting for a turn. If today is the day, we will get aggressive if the market does turn lower. It never looks like it will happen. But if it does, we'll have our finger on the trigger for today. And, the market is just has an insatiable appetite to buy. We're seeing that across the board. We're seeing that in pretty much all markets. All markets are up. Earnings, again, you can't really look at the earnings because all it is a backlog of orders that they're throwing out to all these different customers. But hopefully, on an opening like this, maybe we'll get some good trading finally. I mean, it's been dead every single day. So maybe today, we'll get some trading. That's what I'm thinking and hoping. And bonds are turning negative as we speak. What do you make of that?
Well, I'm bearish on buy. I think rates need to go up and will go up. Um, you know, and and maybe the turning point will be the next Fed meeting. I remember about a year ago, everybody knew that they were going to cut rates. This is when they were cutting in the fourth quarter last year. Everyone knew they were cutting rates. Rates were dropping into the Fed meeting. They cut rates, and then rates started to rally for like 3 months. So I think that turning point will probably be the same this time around as well. So I remain bearish on bonds. I think rates are going to go up. They kind of have to.
I don't think so. I mean, when you have the Fed cutting, how are you gonna have rates
Hmm.
really going up significantly?
Well, they're going to cut 25 basis points, and then what happens? Then it's going to be a question about the next one. And like you said, the market's at an all-time high. They're going to get this cut out of the way for whatever reason. I'm actually not 100% convinced they're going to cut next week. I know it's like there's just this thought in my mind that there's a shot, and maybe it's for political reason against Trump. I'm not sure, but like you said, it Goolsby was like, "Why are we cutting rates? We shouldn't be cutting
Well,
rates."
The Fed shouldn't be cutting. The Fed shouldn't be cutting rates. And like, listen, these numbers that are coming out are so off base. And one thing I'll agree with, Trump's like, you got to fire all these people. You really do. I mean, these numbers are so bogus and fake that it's unbelievable. And it's funny, what you may see tomorrow is you actually may see consumer inflation popping up a little bit now that producer inflation isn't. Doesn't that mean they have to pass the tariffs on? Doesn't that show that in this data that they're passing it on to the consumer? Um, that's sort of what I'm seeing here. But
No,
the
no,
markets are. Listen,
no.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, and I want to say in full disclosure, okay, for my subscriber base, we have not really shorted the market at all during this almost entire up move. Literally, days and days and days are going by, and I'm just sidestepping it. If we get good action to the downside on some volume, then I think this may be the high. And it may be a high like, we saw for a bunch of months in gold, where it rejects the high, goes down about 12%, 15%. I mean, I don't know what, like the market this morning when I woke up, Nasdaq was flat. This was 6 in the morning. It literally rallied $70. Okay, then this number comes out, which is sort of a nothing. You can't even get, what I'm getting out of this number may be different than other people, but what I'm getting out of this number is that last month the producer passed along the price increases to the consumer. So now we're going to have to see tomorrow if that's actually fact. And if that's fact, that actually bodes very, very interesting for the market moving forward. But literally, this is the same trade day in and day out. Explosion of all. What makes this move different.
We might not see that tomorrow. We might not see because they may be waiting to pass down those costs in the fourth quarter. According to what I've been.
I understand, but then how could their costs have gone down? They're getting hit with tariffs, the producer. Now we're seeing numbers that are negative. Okay. Final demand was negative month over month, which is weird. Okay. I don't even know if that bodes well, but they were looking for, how could they be looking for 3.3 and it came in at 2.6? I mean, that is so far off that it's unbelievable. I mean, but where are the tariffs going, Eric? They're definitely tariffing. We saw it last month in the increase in producer prices. Okay, now the numbers are negative, which means to me that they're passing on price increases, unless the number is completely fake, or not real. But I'm thinking today's trade could be very, very interesting. I think it's an interesting trading day today for sure, because really, I'm not seeing anything other than Oracle, juicing up all the markets that out of this number in general. And then after the move we've just had off, what was the low on Tuesday in S&P? 6370. What was the low? I mean, it had to be, it was below 6400. So we were at, let's say, 6370, and now we're 300 points higher almost. I mean, come on. It's unbelievable. That's a week. That's like we're up 4% in a week. And they love it. But I think today we may get some trading finally. We're gonna have to see, obviously. But
Well, these economic report days, they tend to kind of have one of two patterns. It's usually either uh, a big reaction that it just doesn't come in, it just keeps going. Every technical point gets bought, and you have massive momentum. That usually happens on a surprise, and it's pretty rare. What tends to happen more often is a lot of reversion. Back to the entry point
bro,
before
there has
we even.
been no reversion ever of any move that we've seen in months and months and months and months and months and months since April, basically.
There
Um,
has been on economic report days. It's a good trading environment usually. So I'm in agreement with you. We may get some trading today.
Right, we may. We're both in agreement we may, but I'm not, listen, the S&P's up 40 handles, the Nasdaq's up another 150, they're dancing in the streets. I mean, and the funny thing is those aren't even really big moves. I mean, we've been moving that every single day.
They're not dancing in the street. They're dancing in their cubicles. It's a bunch of office workers, accountants, lawyers, all these people, IT people sitting there, pressing buttons on their phone, on their Robinhood. So they're dancing in
Listen,
their cubicle.
I gotta be honest with you. I love Robinhood. I love that I love that site. It is. I actually go on it just to laugh. You could bet anything on that thing, literally. I mean, it's not only a trading site. You can bet. It could be your bookie, also. But right
You
now,
can lose all your money in one place.
right now, the retail is winning, which is, it's fine. It happens, and we'll see how and if they keep winning, and I just think it's funny that we haven't
Speaking of
traded,
winning, QMMM, did you buy QMMM yesterday
of
and make
course,
2,700%
of
in
course.
one day?
Dude, dude, you want me to go through a list of there's 50 QMMs every single day. Um,
QMMM announces it's going to become another Bitcoin crypto treasury company, and the crowd goes wild.
my
Meanwhile,
question is, I'm an
meanwhile,
owner.
R continues to be weak,
Well,
which
let me
is
ask you this. I'm an owner. Donald Trump and his kids are putting companies public on a daily basis, literally becoming billionaires over and over and over, okay, on launching companies that have literally zero revenue. And I don't know what they have going on. And I'm long a stock in the private market called Kraken. It's the second largest, basically, or third largest crypto exchange in the world. And these clowns can't even go public. Like if they went public, it would go haywire, but they won't go public. And then the guy who's the CEO is a guy named Sefi, and he literally came out and said the same thing Sam Altman said about AI. He said crypto is an incredible bubble. Okay, this guy is running the third largest crypto exchange. I mean, he's probably not a stupid guy. But my thought is, why won't this company go public? Like, why? Everything going public is going crazy. Another company that I own privately, so I do a lot of private investing and buying shareholders out of private stock. Which is a great business. It was a really great business from the first deal we did was like in 2012, 13. We bought the Facebook shareholders, some shareholders out early. That was a wild ride. We bought it, went up, then it went down, and then it exploded up. But today, a company called Klarna, which is a buy now, pay later, it's like a competitor to Affirmed, is going public. They marked down, they couldn't even bring the deal, which is amazing. All these crypto deals are going crazy. This company is massive, an incredible company. And they could only bring it public at $15 billion. It should keep an eye on it today. It'll come out like midday between 11 and 1. And it's Klarna, and the stock should probably perform very well. The stock IPOing at $40 a share. But the point being, like, these companies can't even get
It'll
going.
triple,
But
triple
anything
by
Trump says, the memers are out, and they're buying like crazy. And these memers, I mean, when do they ever sell? Like, and then the better question is, why can't a memer? Why can't what I don't understand? Okay, and I don't understand it. Why do they always have to buy? You can hit a red button rather than a green button. Like, why do they always? Why is everyone always set to buy? That's what I
because they're
don't
gamblers
understand.
at heart. Because they're gamblers at heart, and when something goes parabolic to the upside, they get a lot of, I don't know. It's like that casino endorphin, I don't know, chemical that goes through the body. They get that feeling that they get that poison in their blood. They love it. So it's
But
always
why
it,
can't they sell it? Why can't?
it only happens when the market goes up. Like when the market crashes, like the only person happy are the people shorting, right? And you get that feeling, but they get that on the upside. They like upside volatility. You
But
like downside volatility.
I don't like. No, I do. I don't care. I like mean reversion. That's what I like. I like what has always gone on in the stock market for the last, since it's been in existence. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. I mean, obviously, we're in I'm going to call it a landmine bubble. But, you got, I just, it's funny. Like I said, I'll give you like the recap. I woke up at 5:30. Nasdaq was unchanged. It rallied straight up to 8:30. It was up 75. The number came out. The number, if this number is truly real and truly something to sink your teeth in, bonds would be up a lot. Okay, not a little, a lot. Okay, but they're not even up. They're languishing, and the Nasdaq. I mean, it came in a little, but it's still 50 higher than when the number released, or 40 higher. I mean, what are they going to do? Buy every stock up like a gazillion and never, what's funny? They never sell. And you know what? A lot of the reason is they don't want to pay taxes. I love that one. When people say, I don't want to sell, I don't want to pay taxes. So I don't know. So does that mean you have a real gain? Hmm?
I had a conversation with a pretty big wealth manager, and he runs massive accounts, all passive. And this was right before the 2022 bear market. And I'm like, look, I gave him, I laid down the case for a market that was about to reverse, and he's like, unless I can beat that hurdle rate on the tax rate, if the market doesn't fall more than what I will save by not selling through taxes, it just doesn't make sense to me. And he's like, I see everything you're saying, I agree with everything you're saying, but it just still doesn't make sense for me to even sell one share. So
All right. Well, listen,
it's not just retail. It's
let me ask you,
this
was
is how
2020?
passive investing, and they're always putting in a bid on on the Mag sevens, because as time went on, the weighting within these indexes got so big. When they need to buy, they're just buying, and they're putting in this like inherent bid in all this. It's not
Dude,
just retail, it's just the way
in
passive investing is.
I don't listen. Our show is the exact opposite of passive investing. But what I would say to you, okay, is 2022 was a bear market for for the minimal ages. Stocks went down 70. Facebook went down 75%. These stocks got killed. Everyone has forgotten 2022. It's only 2025, but they've forgotten 2022. They've forgotten everything that has to do with risk management. And the bottom line is, it'll keep going until it doesn't. But I'd like to, I'm not banking on it, but I'd like to see some trading today. Um, and if we get that, if we come in, I'm going to be putting on short positions for our subscribers, which we have not done in a minimum of 2 months to 3 months. I mean, we've been sitting and sitting and sitting, and it's annoying. And I missed the move, I have to say. You know, I was long for the subscriber base on the lows, took out basically 15%, 20% of an S&P move, which, if you average that through years and years and years of trading, that's like 3 years of gains. But now we're on 10 years of gains, in 3 months. The low was made in April. It May, June, July, August, 4 months. 4 months ago, the low was made in a burning fire. And now you can't even find a down day. Like the market can't have a down day. And you talk about Europe. I'm looking at Europe and it's not up. I know for yesterday we were up a lot and the DAX was down, and today the DAX isn't up and our market is up again. And you're saying a reaction out of Asia. I see no reaction. I see the Nikkei up.
I was talking about out of the gate last night. No, I was talking about out of the gate last night, 8, 9, 10 p.m.
Mm, they weren't up big. I mean, they were up. I mean, they're under, those indexes are, everything's underperforming us by as you would say, factors right now. Factors and factors. So, those markets are not like the DAX is trading. Dude, the DAX high in the year is above 25,000. It's trading at 23,000. Okay. It's not even near the high. We're making a brand new high in every day is a new high. Yesterday was a new high in S&P. Today's a new high in S&P. Every day is a new high in S&P. So, like, what do you make of that? That basically the third biggest market in the world isn't even near the high, you know. Um, Nikkei is up on the year, but not up a lot. So, like, this is all us. I mean, this is all us. This is all AI generated hype that's going crazy. And really, we're not rallying off the pure earnings, right? We're rallying off what they're seeing AI spending. Like, but is that real? Nobody, like, that's like you signing a contract, okay, to do something 2 years from now, but you're really not obligated. So what does that mean? I'm being dead serious.
The pro forma. That's all it is.
But Oracle came out and said they see orders to 2030. How would they know? That's 5 years from now. I mean, come on. You don't know. We could be in a massive recession, depression. We could have a change in the economic landscape. Millions of things can happen. The Fed can't even predict interest rates 3 months out. So how are they giving you out pro forma or orders out 5 years from today? I mean, come
Because
on.
they can. Like if this was a, you don't think they know that we're in a massive bull market and momentum has taken over. All they need to do is just give it a little nudge with these kinds of projections, and the crowd's going to go wild. This is the
Right, but
nature
the
of
crowd
momentum.
doesn't realize that it's not real.
No,
Like when you
no,
get Zuckerberg on a hot mic saying,
man.
"Hey, it's 600 billion a good enough number for you,
You
Prez?"
you know how these people are. They're like, whatever. He made a mistake. It's
Well,
just
he
one
didn't
guy.
make a mistake.
It was the heat of the moment. They'll
No,
come up with an excuse. It doesn't
he
matter.
said he put him on the spot. He put him on the spot and he just threw out a number. Okay, so I mean, come on, dude. It's like what we had originally, you know.
Elon Musk said many times, "My stock is overvalued." Like he has said that, and then he was like, "I don't know why you keep buying it, but it's overvalued. The stock is too high." And
I don't think he said
and
that.
then they
I don't think
the
he said that.
investors
Pull
bought it
up when
anyway
he said that. Pull it up. He hasn't said that in years. Okay.
in year, but he said it right. There was that one moment where he said
Dude,
it.
he also said 420 on his stock. I mean, he's been sued
That
by
was
the
one.
SEC. I mean, come on, he's irrelevant. But I
He's
mean,
irrelevant.
I'd like to see some trading. I'd like to see some back and fill. And if we get that, maybe it's a good opportunity to either exit some longs if you're long out there or to get short the market. But I'm not, listen, I'm far from hoping that because it never happens. So I'm not excited that this will be a great trading day. It's just looking at
Straddles under 20.
what?
So straddles under 20
Right.
at
So
the
there's
month.
no trading.
So they're saying there's no trading today.
Exactly.
Do
So
you believe it?
yes, I haven't sold the straddle. I haven't sold spreads in a couple of days out there for people that are watching. I'm waiting. Maybe today, I'll put a spread on. But the premiums are too low. Over the last month and a half, we haven't even been able to get $2 out of you know, our stuff. So, it's a little bit brutal. It's just weird looking at the action in the market versus the action in bonds versus the action. Currencies are actually the dollar's caught a little bit of a bid. I don't know if that's good or bad. The market went up every day this year when the dollar was weak. So I don't know really what that means to the market. But dollar is having a decent day. Bonds up slightly. Gold obviously up. Oil somehow up. I literally thought oil, and I still think oil is going to trade below 60. Um, I think you could have, you know, any news out of Russia could be positive. That would take that down significantly. So, I think that oil shows weakness to me, but again, you know, it's not really moving too quickly. Um, I think if we get going to the downside today, if you might get a good counter trend trade. I'm not banking on it, and I've been thinking that for the last few days minimally. So, but we're definitely got our finger on the trigger for our subscribers um, to buy, and then on top of it, next week is quad witching. So maybe I got to take a look at the options and the spreads on the futures. Maybe it'll set up to the downside. Maybe we'll get a really good flush out um, off of that. That's the way it's leaning to me. But really, just looking at the tape, it's a little crazy. You don't think? I mean, I don't know why you're not doing it, but tell me where Nasdaq was last Tuesday, basically on the low. I mean, we've got to be up at least 5% from there. From that Tuesday low.
No, I don't think it's 1%.
I
Maybe like
do.
3%, something like that.
No, it's way more than. Dude, go
Nasdaq?
find the number. Can't you find out what the low was? I know the low
Yeah.
in SPUs was 4% from here. I would think Nasdaq would have been more, to be honest. I think Nasdaq would have been more. And then what's interesting? There's been all this news out there that's been fairly scary or a little scary has been basically ignored. Like Trump yesterday demanded 100% tariffs across the board from China on Putin. And last night, overnight, basically NATO had to shoot down drones over Poland. I mean, could you imagine like drones flying over your house? I mean, you'd be like, honey, what is that? I hear a buzzing in the, there must be someone outside. Oh, but, you
Russia
know,
loves to do this, where they, it's like a little microaggression, and they want to see the reaction. They learn. They actually that's a tactic that Russian military uses. Is they do like a little thing, and then they want to see the reaction, and then they learn from the reaction what to do next. This is
yeah.
exactly what they're doing right here with Poland.
What are they doing?
They want to see how the world reacts to them invading Polish airspace. What do
No,
you
I
mean?
think they were flying drones over Poland and it got caught. That's what I think. I mean, if you know, they didn't want to get caught, they got caught. But wait, you're now saying Russia has an implemented strategy and they know what they're doing? That dude, that's like, did you ever see the movie The Bad News Bears? when you when you were a kid? They made a lot of sequels, so maybe it came out when you were the sequel came out when you were born, but literally it was a team of misfit young kid baseball players. That's Russia, dude. Complete misfits. They have zero clue what they're doing. But I'm kind of bumming a little as we're on the air. The Nasdaq is coming in, which is annoying because I wanted to basically have it up there. And now if you look at Nasdaq off the PPI number, it's almost rejected the whole move. When the PPI came out, the Nasdaq futures were 23,950 and now they're 23,985 or whatever. So it's a muted reaction. Bonds are a fairly muted reaction. Um, who knows? I mean, maybe today we'll get some trading, maybe, or it's just the moves, the moves. What I want to say for people watching, the moves in these stocks are unbelievable. Last week on Friday, Nvidia traded 164. It's trading up $10. Okay. That's a massive move. Okay. That's like a 6% move off of what? Because Oracle said they had a backlog of orders. I mean, that they don't even, I love the Broadcom one. They have a mystery $10 billion customer. It's really a mystery. It's really a mystery who that customer is. I mean, come on. That customer is the same $10 billion customer at every firm. It's it's pretty crazy. So anyway, you know, we'll see how the market reacts. Again, the PPI number
We have an
will
interesting question on seasonality in our live chat. What
hmm,
do you think about seasonality here? It's September. Do you see seasonality becoming a factor for stocks?
maybe
And
not. I think today is critical. I think if they reverse the market today and send the market down, it'll be basically okay to be on the short side of the market probably for weeks. Um, I would think. What else? Dude, the market's crazy. Oracle, where is it? I mean, it was up like 50, it was up like 25% last night when I looked at it. This is the 10th largest company or eighth largest company in the world. How could one earnings report send any stock up 30%? Dude, this is Casino Royale, dude. I'm telling you, it's casino. And you said before we got on the air, you're like, are you looking at Oracle to do something? I can't trade that thing. It's crazy. It's nuts. I mean, it it's probably up 20, $30 more than it should be. But I mean, that's what I'm saying to you. That's the difference in this market than any market that I've seen in 40 years. And the difference is even during, the dot-com bubble or the housing bubble, they didn't move stocks that were real like this. They would find esoteric stocks, they would find some real stocks, but they would never move like this. They're moving the biggest companies in the world, which obviously have the biggest shareholder base, up massively. So doesn't that freak you out that they can move Oracle, which is I bet you that's the eighth biggest company now. I don't know, and it's close to $1 trillion in market cap. Okay. So, it's in the top 10 even before this earnings. So I would say to you, okay, that if they can move that way, if they can move it that way, then anything is possible. I mean, any move is possible. These are massive stocks, dude. Like Nvidia moving 5 points a day or 4 points a day is $100 billion up and down. $100 billion. The numbers have become just so massive, and they don't even scare people. And what I want to talk about for a second is like market structure and market makers and specialists. And what's happened in the market is Citadel, Jane Street, you know, and a number of other market makers are supposed to make fair and orderly markets. That's their job. They don't make one market, dude. They don't make one market. They just take order flow and execute it, and basically run up and down stocks in front of the order flow. I mean, you've seen it. Yes, 2 days ago, not yesterday, but 2 days ago, you said to me, look what happened in Nvidia in 2 seconds, right? It went down over $2 in one trade. Why? Why would that ever happen? Like it doesn't make sense. There's these stocks have massive market caps, massive
They probably
buying
saw.
power,
They
and no
probably saw an
liquidity. They got no
They probably,
liquidity.
yeah. I mean, they probably saw an order and pulled the bids. You know how it's done. So
Right, but why? I was a specialist. I made markets, and literally, no lie, I had to stand up and make markets. Otherwise, they would come and fine you. You would get a fine from the floor for not making fair and orderly markets. So why is there no one? Why is the SEC okay with the fact that no one is providing market liquidity? No one is deemed like the system originated with specialists, which I was one, that was basically there all day to provide fair and orderly markets. And they could never do the stuff that they're doing now, where they're juking stocks up, or, they're, you know, basically spoofing orders, putting in orders, making the market look a certain way so they could sell when they're really, a buyer, or buy when they're a seller, and it's like a created table game. So, um, it's amazing to me that an Oracle could move 25% off one earnings report. Guess what? In 3 months, they got to put out another earnings report. I mean, come on. I mean, they're running off a quarterly earnings report 30% because they said that they have a backlog of orders that dude, it's like you putting down something on, to buy something, but you don't really have to buy it. That's what this is. So they're saying they have orders. You don't know what they really have until those orders are filled. What if the company they have the order from goes out of business? Then what?
yeah, this is the nature of momentum. You cling to any semblance of good news and ask questions later. This is the very nature of momentum.
Okay. But my question is, when you have momentum, what do? You just sit there, wait, and the market's up 13% in S&P now, 13, 14% in Nasdaq. What do? You just sit and wait? And then wait. If it goes down on the year, what do you do then, Eric? Then you sell? I'm just trying to understand. Like, when do you sell? Never? You sell when we're going down and you're in a panic, like '08 or 22 or whatever. Don't you have to sell and get whole and take your profit at some point in time? No, you just keep letting it go.
Well, usually, what pops it or stops the momentum, it's like in physics, right? It's you have something traveling at a certain speed, and the only thing that could stop it is something with equal force going the opposite way, or like a brick wall, right? So that brick wall or that opposite force has got to be something that will completely change the mindset of not just forget about the retail investor. They're just picking up pennies in front
Well,
of a
but
stick.
yeah, who's looking, dude?
But
Nobody's
it's got to
looking.
change the perception of the
Eric,
passive fund
nobody's
out.
looking for a change in mindset. Okay. We're just looking for trading and two-way trading. Like the market opens up here, 130 Nasdaq goes down 150, they buy it, then it goes down another 100. Like we haven't had trading basically since April. And in April, we had great trading. I mean, it was incredible. Like, if it stayed like that, we would have gold. We'd have a golden podcast. We'd have gold all over our podcast. So, like, I don't understand. I mean, and then anything Trump says now, like, has no validity. He could come on right now and say he's tariffing, blah, 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 or he's doing this. They don't care. Nobody cares what he's doing. They don't even believe it. Dude, he said 2 weeks to Putin 50 times. You have 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks. You have two
He says
weeks.
that all the time. 2 weeks. That's his magic.
No, I know, but when are people gonna believe that it's not real? Like that everything is like that he says and does is like smoke and mirror. It's not real. Like we don't even know what's crazy about this is we don't even know if are the tariffs on off. What what's going on? Like who's tariffed? How much are they tariffed? Who signed? Did anyone actually sign a trade deal? I'm just curious. I'd say no. I would say no trade deal is signed, not one. Had you know England in the White House signing a big deal, but I don't even think it's signed. Do you? I mean, maybe it is.
U.S. is
Maybe it is.
knocking up revenue every month, 20, 30 billion. So I guess they're on. And let's see what the court says. The court, by the way, last night came out with something about uh, Trump not being able to fire Fed Governor Cook. So the the courts are trying to kind of keep him, at arm's length here.
Well, listen. Doesn't that mean he's losing? Like if he can't fire her?
No,
No.
I don't know what that means. I think it means the courts, you know, will find a way to try to block everything he does.
Well, I listen. I don't know. And then I heard I don't know if you told me, but someone said Pulte had a fight with Besson in the White House. I don't know about what, but that's pretty funny in itself, right?
Yeah, Besant Besant had an op-ed recently. He's just trying to make a case for they're going all out against the Fed. You know, now you have Besant writing op-eds, and they're really trying to like get political support to go harder. I think against the Fed. Um,
Yeah,
interesting times.
it sure is. Anyway, we're getting close, so I would say today, most likely no trade as far as trading. Markets up a lot. Um, I don't know. I think what is this? The fifth, sixth, seventh up day in a row. Some crazy number like that. It, you know, I'm looking for a little bit of a fade so that I could short the market. I just need a little bit, like Nasdaq coming in like 60, 70. Will be a little bit more aggressive. Um, but we didn't really get to address the seasonality question. But really, obviously, seasonality is irrelevant, right? I mean, this is September is usually a fairly treacherous month. We're coming off 5 up months in a row, and the market is, we're pretty much mid-month. You know, One of my friends who's the best trader that I've ever traded with, um, he usually says that the high of the month is usually made it could have been made yesterday, today, but right around here, and then you get negative action in seasonal situations like this. But again, you're in a situation being short that no one is selling no matter what. And I always talk about Nvidia having 25 billion shares outstanding. There's probably only like 200 million tradable shares. Like the people that own it are just holding it. It's either part of an index or they're just holding it. So really, even though I talk about it, the float being so big, it's not. It's the opposite. Nobody is selling. So the float is not there, and the market continues to go higher. But again, keep an eye on rates. They're coming in a little, and I think the reaction to CPI could be interesting tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. But again, don't look for you know any trading. It was funny. The Nasdaq was coming in for a minute and then just reversed 40 handles and straight up. So we're going to open on the highs, and we'll see what goes on. I wish everybody good luck trading today and enjoy.